Hi guys.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video where we will be discussing something based off of a video that Shanita would have watched. And the question is, if you and your partner agreed to have kids, sorry, if you and your partner agreed not to have kids, but your younger sibling, cousin, etc., lost their parents and you want to move them in, but your spouse was against it, who would you choose, the spouse or the child?
Okay, yes, and I came up with that question because like Tony said, a video I watched where this guy um was is married to this lady, and his he has a younger sister, and his younger sister and him, they lost their parents. Now the sister lived with their parents, and obviously he lives with his wife. But she lost her parents, so she lost the person that she lived with, and she said she wanted to move in with her brother. Yes, they had another uncle around, but she didn't want to live with the uncle. She wanted to live with her brother. And so he obviously decided, well, yeah, I'll talk to the wife about it. But he pretty much made it his wife that that's my sister, and yeah, she can come and live with me. He just wanted to discuss it with his wife as protocol. Obviously, you're married, and this is somebody moving into the household. They had agreed previously that they were not going to have any children, and so he thought it was important, obviously, to have that discussion. The wife, however, was totally against it, and she was like, "Oh, your sister could go and live with the uncle. We said we weren't gonna have kids, and every other excuse she could come up with in the book." And then basically now it came to the point now where the guy was thinking now about getting a divorce because his wife was making him choose between her and his sister. So when I heard that story, obviously my first reaction is she has to go because I can understand you you and your partner having a conversation. In the beginning stages, you have all these type of important conversations: money, finances, whatever, kids, religion, all these different things you might talk about with your partner before you actually get in a relationship or during the early relationship stages. But when a sudden situation like death comes about, then obviously a change will have to be made. And if it is a case where your sibling, who is your mother and father's child, needs a place to stay, then no absolute doubt, it will be no question in my mind that my sibling would be coming to stay with me. And if you have a problem with it, then you will have to go. So that's just my standpoint on it. What about yours, my sister?
Um, I would say, I would say that the wife will have to go too. Um, but I think that there needs to be a level of communication, um, as it relates to that, because to be honest, I'm gonna go with what the word says. The word says you must cling to your wife. Now, I know that this is an emergency situation, so my thing is a conversation needed to be had even in the beginning of the marriage to speak about emergencies as it relates to a sibling, a family member, whatever. I believe in that because at the end of the day, if something happens, because you don't plan for these things, but these are things that you need to speak about. But I honestly feel like the wife to me, based on the story, and I watched it too, the wife doesn't have a heart. At the end of the day, yes, that's your husband, yes, that's your wife. You have to respect each other. But the reality is my sibling. You know my sibling. You know that all my sibling got right now is me. I actually have a friend like that at this point. Her brother, her mother died, sorry, and it's just her and her brother. She can't leave her brother out to sea. Yes, the brother, father is still alive or whatever. But if the father had to go, is she that he's going to go to? So I mean, and it is not a case that you should be choosing. It should be a case whereby, okay, we have a situation that came up. Yes, we stated we didn't want any children or anything like that, but emergencies happen. So I feel like a conversation should have been had in the beginning as it relates to emergency bringing people into the home.
Uh, yeah, I agree with the fact that these type of conversations should be had, but the reality is many times these type of
Don't ever
conversations
come
aren't,
up.
because nobody, like you said, nobody's thinking of these type of things. Usually the conversations that would be have is do you want kids?
Mm.
Or if a person don't want kids and another person do, then they know they might not be compatible or whatever. But if both people decide they don't want kids, that is be it. It don't really have no other conversation
Conversation.
past that.
Mm.
So I won't go as far as to say it should happen in the beginning stages, because like again, things like this, nobody's expecting it to happen. But the conversation was had when the situation happened.
Right.
And for you to see your partner in this type of messed up situation is already a messed up situation, because not only did the child, the sibling lose the parent, your partner also lost their parents as well.
True.
So not only now are they dealing with the fact of having to deal with the grief of losing parents, but they're also dealing with the situation now that they have to, try to help their younger sibling also deal with this grief while also dealing with the grief themselves, right? And at this time, the what you need the most is support.
Right.
You don't need criticism. You don't need somebody to be a burden. You need somebody that will pull together with you. That's the whole point of being in a marriage, to be a support system, to add to the, or divide the pain, or whatever they say, right? So you need that situation. But when you're gonna come with selfishness,
Right.
you're thinking all about yourself. You're
Right.
not thinking about the fact that, okay, well, he's going through a tragic situation right now, and how can I help in this moment? Because you don't know what gonna happen with you. You don't know what the years will bring for you. You don't know if something might come up. What if the tables had turned, and let's say she had become accidentally pregnant by him, as people say, accidentally pregnant. I don't believe I'm not accidentally pregnant type thing, because But anyway, let's just say she had got an accident pregnant, and he had said, "Well, we both said we don't want kids, so you gotta go, cause I don't want."
Right.
People don't put themselves in
Your
in
shoes.
people's positions.
Mhm.
You would expect, I would say that she would expect that he would be more lenient with her situation. So you have to think about that as well. You have anything else to say, my sister? I don't want to be like,
Long-winded.
hogging the show.
Long-winded. I really have much more to say because I mean she's wrong. As Shinta would have rightfully said, you gotta put yourself in people's shoes. Always ask yourself, if this had happened to me, how would I want somebody to treat me? And
Hmm.
Shanita brought up a very good point about having the spouse. Is the spouse family that die too? Like how you gonna add more stress to the situation? Like even if it's a case that you have a problem with it, at least let them grieve, bring the sibling, whatever, and then in future, in the future, talk about it. I mean, there's really nothing to talk about because the sibling will be there. But I'm just saying, like, just just be kind, just be nice because at the end of the day, today for me, tomorrow
Tomorrow
for
for you,
you.
exactly.
So, I mean, Sundays, I find people can be so unreasonable and forget that they're also part of the human race and things that happen to me can happen to you, right? So, yeah, I just want to say that.
And the thing is, in this case too, is a sibling, but there are many times that a parent might need to move in for whatever reason. We see so many times where, and it might not even be a death situation, but we see so many times where something happened and a parent might need to move in,
Right.
and then it causes so much strife and so much anguish within the family unit,
Unit.
because either the spouse and the parent aren't getting along, or the spouse and sibling, or whatever. But the I agree with Tony though that these things do need to be discussed so that you don't end up in a messed up situation where you find yourself, feeling like is you or them or whatever, like having to divorce your spouse because of it or whatever. But yeah, in that situation, I think the wife was definitely
She was too
self-centered,
selfish. Hmm.
and it shows your true colors as a person. Like, what are you being married for then? Are you being married because the person could give to you and because, they're there for whatever you need or whatever, and then when situations come up, you could just like be all about you and bounce because it doesn't work in your favor type thing. So yeah, it
Exactly.
makes you think about a lot when these type of situations come out.
Exactly. I agree with you, my sister.
Yep.
So, with that being said, Shannon, you don't got nothing more to say, right?
No, just give us your thoughts on this situation. Like, have you ever experienced a situation like that?
I heard about a situation like that.
And what would you have done in this case?
Yes. So please like
Share.
and subscribe. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.